What's going on, people? Welcome to live match reaction. Sorry for the live match reaction. Damn, what a start to the show. We live match. I'm joined by a team to talk about the latest. We're going to be on today straight on to the point. As always, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and also leave down your comments in the comment section down below. You're watching live in the live comment section. T, how you doing, bro?
Good, doing good, man. How you doing?
Good. Now look at your fit check again. You looking
You know,
smooth as always. What you got now?
hey,
What you got today?
little jean
Is
jacket,
that
little
denim?
sweater, little
Yeah,
denim,
yeah,
little denim.
yeah. Looking smooth as always, man. Looking smooth as always. I've just come back from my illness, so I'm coming off the bench for this one. Hopefully I don't cough throughout the show. I'll try my best. But look, thanks to everyone who joined us live. It's gonna be a quick one. We haven't had much time to plan it. And you know what? Let's go straight on to the point. And as you can see from the title as well, let's talk about Olivier Giroud. So there's been reports that's come out suggesting that Giroud would be open to moving back to the Premier League. And the former Chelsea and Arsenal forward, according to the report, as I said, is open to return to the Premier League with Crystal Palace and Fulham, the two teams named as potential destinations for the 36 years old. 36, very old, even for like a striker. Got vast experience, both in international and league level.
Mm-hmm.
But short-term potential move in the summer, how would you feel about that? Because for me, short-term move would have made sense in January, but I understand he's got massive experience, and why would you want to come to Palace? I understand that perspective. But he's 36 years old, so there's not going to be many interest on the top clubs because age is catching up to him, and you can argue as it will slowly catch up to him. But in the summer, I don't know. I feel like we could do better. We could do better. Build for the future in summer rather than signing 36 years old. Very good striker, don't get me wrong, but in the summer, you got time from now to the summer. Well, what do you make of this, anyways?
I mean, I gotta agree with you, man. I feel like if you make a move for a guy like that in the summertime, it kind of feels like lazy recruitment almost, man. Like I feel like the summer is the time when you have the chance to do the most recruiting. You get the most time to make the right moves, and I feel like that just would be almost lazy. Yeah, I mean, um, I think we could do better in more than one way. I mean, we can get somebody that's younger. We can get somebody that's definitely probably on lower wages. I think wages will be a big thing here with somebody like Giroud too. And I don't know. I guess the essence of it feels like the Palace of the past. It feels like a very Gary Cahill-ish move. You feel what I'm
It just
saying?
doesn't make sense. Maybe as a
Yeah,
last resort in January, it would have made sense. But right now, I just don't see like why. I just don't understand.
yeah.
Of course, we need a striker, but why Giroud? Why
I
Giroud at
don't.
this point of his career in the summer? Not even in January, in the summer. And there are mentions about wages, but I assume based on him being linked with Fulham and Palace, and this report was from London News Online. Is that he's willing to take a wage cut? I mean, I don't think teams are going to be offering him a massive amount of wages, and that's why he's been linked with us. So I don't think that would be much of a problem. But it just, yeah, for me, it's just a timing. It's just timing. If we made it
Mhm.
about a month ago, yes, but in summer is like a massive window where you can plan for the summer. You got a bit of time to bring in players. So
Mhm.
yeah, for me, I just don't really understand why he would want to come to Palace, or why would we want to go for him then? Why would we?
Yeah, I don't see it
Yeah,
either.
but
I mean, and think about it. Even if he took a pay cut, he'll still be one of the most highly paid guys on the squad. I mean, that's how much he makes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
yeah. Lucas says, "How you feeling, D? I heard you had the illness a couple of days ago. I still got illness now, but I thought we'll jump on for quickly because I know T's got things to do. I got things to do as well. But yeah, I'm coming off the bench. Let's say that I'm not 100% fit. I passed the fitness check before match day, but I'm only good for the bench. Only good for like 15, 20 minutes coming
15,
off the
20
bench.
minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and build up my fitness throughout the week, anyways. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit better, much better than Saturday, anyways, as you can hear from my voice. It's got
Oh, we got to
hoarse.
highlight this real quick. Hold on, Patrick. Here we go. I
If
want
Drew signs for
everybody to
Palace, I'm
see it.
getting every.
I want
I don't think it'll
everybody to
be.
see it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that massive. I don't I don't think it'll be that massive of a side, Patrick. But you put it there,
I
you
think he's just saying
split it.
that.
It's on
I
you.
think that's more of like him saying it's not going to happen. Like,
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
think it will happen? Do you think it will happen?
Nah, I don't think so. I think we'll probably see us add a striker for sure. And possibly lose one of the ones we have. Who knows? But I wouldn't see that being the type of move we make just because I think we've seen it the past two windows. We're very well 3 windows, should I say, 3 or 4. We're very much sticking to that plan of bringing in young, talented players that we can build on and build around. So I would
Yeah.
honestly be stunned to see us bring in a 36-year-old Olivier Giroud in the summertime, to be honest.
Yeah, Colin says, to be fair, rather than us actually looking at him, it's more of a question which London teams would most likely would he come to if he came back to the Premier League, probably end up at West Ham or Fulham. I'll be very surprised if there is that much demand for him. Maybe I'm disrespecting him a bit too much, but it's not about his qualities as a player. I mean, we've seen
He
it.
could go to
He's done
West
it at the
Ham.
highest
He might
level.
start at West Ham. Like he
No, but
could.
I don't even West Ham. I don't know. He's 36 years old.
I'm just
Let's
saying,
not.
you lose
So with a goalkeeper as
Antonio.
a
If they
striker.
lose Antonio,
West Ham could do
Antonio,
better. West Ham could do better. That's not a
oh, they
good
absolutely could.
solution.
But
And they got
they've also
Samaka.
spent a ton of money too. They've also
Yeah,
spent a
but
ton of
why
money
would they
recently.
spend? So they got Danny Ings and Samaka. I don't, like, even for Palace, like I know we get onto Mateta and Edward, but if the answer is Giroud on higher wages, then is that really like what's the question? Like I don't. For me, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It's just a bit of a not a panic. Yeah, maybe panic, but depends when you get him in the window. Anyways, he might end up at West Ham. We might get Antonio. I don't know. In honesty, I would want neither of them. I would actually like good recruitment and actually go for a striker with
Right
a
on.
bit more quality because both of them are in their peak, past their peak kind of thing. So I'd prefer go for someone who's more of a proven goal scorer rather than a hot and cold striker. But look, let's move on to the second bit of news, and that is on Jake O'Brien. And the Portsmouth boss today came out, said that O'Brien is not currently on their radar. As you might remember, T and Devu, as we spoke about Jake O'Brien before deadline day. He was linked with a few London clubs, but not London clubs, English clubs, but that move didn't eventually happen. But according to this report from the news, what name for a newspaper? The youngster will return to Sellers Park at the end of the season from his loan spell at Molenbeek. Jake O'Brien, first, like I saw this, the Portsmouth, the boss coming out and saying they're not really interested in him. I was thinking, could he play a role next season at Palace? Like, what do you think the situation is with Jake O'Brien? Because we got potentially Mark Gahey, Joachim Anderson, Richards, and then Ferguson if he stays fit behind them, or Jake O'Brien. Like, what do you think should be the move next for him? Because at Molenbeek is not the highest level of competition, but he's doing well there, it seems.
And they're gonna get moved up. They're in the first place right now, so they're gonna be in the Pro League, Belgian Pro League next year. So if he wants to go back there, he'll be playing at the top level of Belgium at least. But I think it's all about how much they value him or how we value him, how we see him. Because the thing is, he could come back and have an impact on the first team. I think because I think he's an upgrade on Tompkins. I think he's an upgrade on Joel Ward in the center back position.
Yeah, but Tompkins is going to leave anyways.
And that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, so you have somebody that slots into hypothetically our fourth slot, possibly, maybe even third, depending on what happens with the Gahey, Anderson, maybe even Richards. I can see Richards staying, but I think it depends on how you value him because if he's coming in and he's going to be your fourth center back, do you really want him to be sitting on the bench that often, not being involved as much comparatively to, say, going back to Molenbeek when they're playing in the first division next year, or going to one of these championship sides that are interesting. I think Bristol City was one of them. I thought I saw there. And do you loan him to a championship side where he can get some really, really good playing time in England, and then maybe you think about bringing him into the first team fold the year after that. So I think a big piece is how they see him fitting in right now within the first team setup. I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind him going back out on loan again. Getting an opportunity to play in the championship or playing in the first league in Belgium. I think it'd be really good for him.
Yeah, I just wonder how many more loan moves or permanent moves, potentially permanent move, has he got? Like, Is it now we're looking at permanent move away from the club if it ain't next season, or
I wouldn't,
another
I
loan
wouldn't,
move?
I wouldn't say permanent. I mean, because I mean, as long as your loans are, as long as he's stepping up in level, you know what I mean. If it's one of those things where we're constantly loaning them out and it's to like the same level, same caliber, then yeah, you probably think more about the permanent side of things. But if he's stepping up in the level, which is helping in his preparation for stepping into the Premier League, I'm all for it. I mean, he's only 21. So if he does one more year out on loan, he could come back to us at 22 and really bed in to what we're trying to do. And that's the perfect age that we're looking at when we're bringing in guys anyway, when we're acquiring players. So I don't see why not. Plus, O'Brien is a man mountain. That dude's like 6'5". He's huge.
Yeah. He seemed like a good player as well.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. This summer answers a lot of these questions. This summer's going to be massive. But T, I know you haven't got much time, so I might just go on for a bit, like a minute or two longer. But quickly, the last bit of news is on the championship duo. Both Bristol City and Swansea are reportedly interested in midfielder Killian Phillips. Alan Nixon on his Patreon page is reporting that the championship duo are keen on taking Phillips for next season, whether the 20-year-old would be available on a permanent transfer is yet to be determined. Killian Phillips doing well at Shrewsbury this season out on loan. Another youngster now being reported away potentially from the club. For you, have you seen enough of him to say that he could potentially make it in the Premier League? Or is it another stage of, 20 years old, it might be time for you to find a permanent destination?
I think he's another one, man, that he's showing that progression. I mean, he started out with us in the summer in preseason, played well, showed a lot, played a lot of minutes. He really killed the under 23 scene, and that's what got him the loan move right now to League One. And he's playing consistently well there, having really good performances. So you're seeing, like I said, once again, you're seeing that progression. You're seeing that leveling up from the players that you want to see as far as their development is concerned. So I will be good with him going to a championship squad next year as well, or with him coming back, spending that preseason with us, seeing if he's ready to maybe play a role in our midfield. I mean, we're going to lose guys in our midfield going into next year, so we're probably going to lose Luca and Gyro, and more than likely MacArthur. So
Yeah,
maybe you have him come in as midfield backup, and you develop him and Ozo. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are two really talented young guys that are coming through our academy that could possibly play a role for us coming up soon.
Yeah, potentially. But look, T, I know you have to go now. Do you have to go now?
Yeah, I do.
All right, cool. If you want, you can leave, and I'll just do like a few more minutes and just wrap it up, basically, because I don't want to make you late for your.
Appreciate it.
But anyways, take care, bro. Yeah.
All right, man.
I see you later. If you have any questions, send them through. If you don't, then I'm just gonna wrap it up very soon. Won't take a lot of your time, because as you can probably see, I go on mute every like 30 seconds to literally to cough. So now that T's gone, I haven't got that privilege. So I'll see how long I can survive. Just join the show. Is Giroud a free agent now? We're talking about in the summer. That's according to the report. In the summer, both Fulham and Palace could be potential destinations as he wants to move back to the Premier League. But yeah, as we mentioned at the start of the show, I wouldn't be a massive fan of this in the summer. If it was in January, then yes, potentially to the end of the season. But in the summer, we have to be doing a bit better planning, a bit more long-term success. Giroud, 36 years old, just like we can make the argument with Maka, like how much has he got left in his legs to play at the top level? I'm not too sure. So, and plus his wages, I assume he might take a wage cut, but despite that, he probably will still earn a good amount of money. So for us, we just have to do better scouting to the end of the season, in all honesty, and we have to get a better striker, in my opinion, anyways. But look, if you have any questions, send them through. If not, I'm going to wrap up the show anyways. Lucas says Giroud did some amazing things at France in the World Cup. I doubt we get him, but it would be massive if we do get him. Something will happen in the summer, probably. I think something will 100% happen in the summer, but whether that's Giroud or not, I'm not too sure. Isaac says Edward could learn a lot from Giroud. Yeah, not only Edward, JP can. Start off with, I'm not going to say it because Patrick's here. He's going to think I'm always bashing JP. But look, JP can as well. Edward both can. But in honesty, we can't be paying, I don't know, I'm taking a figure off my head, but like 60,000 a week for a 25-year-old or 24-year-old to learn how to do the basics. So for me, yes, he can learn a lot, but he's I wouldn't bring him in for that sake. I'd rather bring in a striker that knows what he's doing rather than, Edward ain't 19 or JP ain't 18. That he'll be good, Giroud, to help them, of course, but that wouldn't be my reasoning to bring in Giroud. And honestly, I wouldn't want that to happen. Jude says, wouldn't want him to leave. Could be a good future asset for Palace, seems like a beast in midfield. And that's on Killian Phillips. Yeah, T was saying that as well. So it's hard now to make a judgment properly because we don't know who's leaving or who's staying. And despite people leaving, of course, it would be nice for some academy players to make it up to this level. But the question you have to ask is, are these academy players ready to offer something coming off the bench or as a squad player? Now, with Killian Phillips, that's hard for me to judge because of the level he's playing at right now. Shrewsbury Town is not the highest amount of level, but that's when you have pre-season for the likes of Raksaki, for the likes of O'Brien, for the likes of Killian Phillips. Can these players step up when other players leave? And if they can't, then we have to bring in replacements. But if they can, then that's fantastic because you're gonna have youth players coming off the bench, high energy, and they'll be to slot in. But I don't want youth players coming off the bench for the sake of just simply because they're youth. Because we need quality alongside that. And I think that's the biggest question mark. Can they do it at this level? Colin says there's plenty of decent striker that's better than what we have. Surely matter of looking harder. 100%. And with strikers, we spoke about this a lot, but with strikers, since we've been promoted to the Premier League, name me our top 3 strikers. Name me our top 3 strikers. For me, I think Benteke is there. I know some of you may disagree, but in his first season, he's scoring goals for us. You got Benteke there. It's very hard. It's genuinely very hard. I genuinely don't know who would be our top 3 strikers. I think Benteke was probably the best out of the rest. I mean, we've had the likes of Adebayor. We've had, of course, Murray was with us, but it didn't really count as much because that was after his injury and it didn't quite work out. We had Dwight Gale. We've had Edward and Mateta. We've lacked up front throughout these last 10 years. We haven't been able to bring in a quality striker. And that's the thing. Look, Gale's getting mentioned. Like Dwight Gale, he can't do it in the Premier League. And we're talking about one of our better strikers since getting promoted. It's the one area that we've lacked hugely. And it's one of the most important areas. You need a decent striker to score goals. But we haven't been able to solve it. We haven't been able to solve that striker issue for the last 10 years. We tried it with Edward. We tried it with Mateta. We are trying now. We're trying at a better level because, Edward coming from Celtic, he did have something about himself. And also, as I always say, Edward is our second highest goal scorer this season. So he's not an absolutely terrible footballer. And we've seen it earlier on in the season when he was scoring them goals. And that was before his injury, because I think many people forget that Edward got injured. And then the World Cup happened, and then we returned back, and he hasn't hit the same levels. But Edward ain't a bad striker. I can't agree. I think he's got something in him. Whereas Mateta, I don't know if he's good enough for this level. In my personal opinion, anyways. But look, AJ, we're talking about in the last 10 years. We're not talking about, I'm not talking about all-time top 3 strikers, and that list is different. But with strikers in the last 10 years or 11 years, how long we've been promoted in the Premier League, we struggled. We had Bamford at one point. Yeah, we did. And he was amazing for us. I remember we brought in Bamford, I think, same time as Loftus-Cheek. I think it might be in the same window under Frank de Boer. But yeah, we can do a lot better, especially with strikers. And that's why with this Giroud thing, I'd like us to see do better in that region. But saying that, I don't know who in academy level will step up as well. So we desperately need to improve in that area. But look, I'm going to wrap it up here. T had to leave, of course, because he had some important meeting to go to. And I'm struggling a bit. As I said, I'm coming off the bench. I've passed my medical test. I can only do another 15, 20 minutes. And I'm reaching that point where I'm holding my coffin and I don't think I can talk for much longer. But look, if you have enjoyed it, it only takes a second of your time. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're watching on replay. Let us know your thoughts on the latest Palace news that we discovered in the comment section down below. That's it from me and T, if he was here. But until next time, up the Palace.